All right, Shalom. We want to first start off giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Grestmillstone, the men that taught us this truth through the Spirit, and peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel, which is us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We make up the children of Israel according to the Bible. This is the brother Abadia.
And the brother Atazaria.
From the GMS Houston camp. And this video is just going to be a quick video going into an update on this coronavirus. You know, this is something major that hit the scene on February the 1st of this year, 2020. And, you know, we hadn't seen, since we've been in the truth, we hadn't seen nothing this big. You know, and even going further beyond us being in the truth. So over the last 11 years, I'll say 11 years for us, but since the apostles came on the YouTube, we heard about this truth, you know, and they taught on the highways and byways about we living in the last days, and they talked about a lot of things, one in particular being that according to the scriptures, plagues are going to come on the earth.
Right.
You know? Now, we're seeing this coronavirus. It's a major plague. I think, what was that pig flu? What was it called? The
H1N1.
That was, to my knowledge, that's the biggest thing I can think of plague-wise. That's came on the scene before this coronavirus.
Right.
You know?
The swine flu. The
swine flu. I said pig flu. Con.
Yep.
So we looking at this and we filtering this through the scriptures, and this is biblical prophecy. So before we get into the scriptures, I got something off the CNN online. This just to give an update to what's going on with this coronavirus. Well, some of it anyway. This ain't, you know, because they got cases all over the world.
Right.
You see, but this is really just what's going on in China. Oh, Moab is being affected big time. This is judgment coming from the Most High on Moab.
Yep. And this is just what's being reported.
Exactly. Yeah, this thing could kick off and really, you know, keep going and turn into a major pandemic. It's already a pandemic. This thing can turn into a major pandemic. So this was, like I said, this is off CNN online by Jesse Ying and Jenny Marsh, 9:47 p.m., February the 12th, 2020. And the title says, China records over 14,800 new coronavirus infections in one day.
Yep. So
check that out. So I'm gonna read a little bit on it, and then we're gonna hit some of these scriptures. What I want to look at, what did I have? Okay. So it says the death toll spikes. It says China's Hubei province announced 242 new deaths from the novel coronavirus. Thursday morning, twice as many as on the previous day. New infections there jumped by more than 14,000. You see, so this thing is spreading,
multiplying.
Right. You got people out on these cruise ships that are being quarantined, and the infected or infectious cases are multiplying. You see, this thing is growing. Now it says global, on this site it says global epidemic, but it's actually all around the world, so you can put it in the category of a pandemic. But like I said, this thing could very well turn out to be a major pandemic. And a lot of things can come out of this coronavirus.
Yep.
The chip can come on the scene through this. You know, we don't know, but this could be an avenue for Esau to slide that chip if this thing prolong long enough and get big enough.
Right.
You know?
You got to think about it. We get the majority of our imports come out of China. Okay? So that's going to hurt world economies. Okay? Which the chip is going to play a part in the economic form. Okay? Not to mention, your chip has all your identification on it. So when they're checking these people to see if they have the virus and stuff like that, or whether or not, you know, where they come from, having that microchip would be a lot more convenient than, you know, trying to, well, let me figure out who this person is, where they come from, you know, who, you know, it's going to track you, not to mention it's going to have all your information on it, you know. So it would help a lot if people had the mark of the beast in them to try to be contained with this virus.
Right. Well, they can just scan you like they showed in the movie I Am Legend. Will Smith, they were scanning the people to see if they was infected.
Yep.
So that could be a, you know, something that Esau come with.
Yep.
And ultimately it's coming from the Most High.
Yep.
Now I'm going to read on in this article. It says, global epidemic. The virus has killed more than 1,300 people. And infected over 60,000 people worldwide. You see, that's a lot of people. And the number's only going to get bigger, we suspect. And we hope, you know, that this, you know, can kick off something. So we can get the hell out of here. Because the more and more prophecies we see being fulfilled is the closer we are to being delivered out of this captivity.
Right. I'll make a point.
Con.
Because I was talking to the brother earlier before I got here. There was a Carnival cruise ship that's quarantined, and they won't let them come in and let the people off the ship. And they said in one day that the number of infections on that ship doubled in one day. Because the reason being is you got infected people with people that's not infected all in one contained space. What do you expect to happen? Okay? So that's why it's multiplying the way that it is. Okay? And them people on them ships is past frustrated. They ready to get out of there, you know? But they won't let them get off the ships. They won't let them come in the dock, you know? So all them people just sitting together, of course, is going to multiply. You know? And how much medical attention can you receive on a ship?
Right. That's quarantine. So it says, going on, it's 4 bulletin points that I'm reading from off this, off the CNN. And the other one is widened definition. It says the spike in numbers is partially down to a broader definition of what constitutes a confirmed case, to include people diagnosed on the basis of their symptoms rather than testing positive. Now, this is information about the cruise ships. It says cruise ship crisis. It says a total of 175 cases have been confirmed on a cruise ship quarantine in Japan. More than 2,000 people are stranded on another cruise liner in Asia that was turned away from the 4 ports, despite having no suspected cases. So this is bringing out this 2 cruise ships out there over there in the eastern side of the world, far eastern of the world. Okay, so the number of this coronavirus, people infected with the coronavirus, is growing.
Right.
You know. Now I want to say this because we're gonna hit a couple of scriptures and close this out. The apostles, starting with the apostles and the elders, they've been preaching about the last days.
Right.
On down to all us brothers that woke up through getting on the YouTube. Most of us getting on the YouTube and finding the apostles or some Israelite group that led us to the fact that we were the Hebrew Israelites. And we've been hearing the apostles speak about plagues are going to come. And we've been teaching that plagues are going to come according to the scriptures. So we see these things speaking, you know. or in other words, being fulfilled. And what things? The prophecies.
Right.
Now, yeah, if you, Baba Kushai, if you could read the Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. I actually got it right here.
Okay.
But I'll let you read it.
Come on. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time."
Right, and what vision? The prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
The prophecies are for an appointed time, and it's a particular time for these certain prophecies, and the time is the end.
Yep.
Like it well, read on.
Come on. And when you go into that word appointed, that means it got a slot set just for these things to happen. Just like when you have an appointment at the doctor, your appointment is at 8:30. So when do you show up? 8:30. That's when your appointed time is with the doctor.
Yep. We know for sure the appointed time for the prophecies like plagues coming upon this earth is in the last days.
Yes.
The end time.
Yes. Yes. The chip.
Because that's the time that we in.
Yep.
And the appointed time for the major plagues to hit this earth is in the last days.
That's right.
This being one of them, this is, really something on a small scale compared to what's coming down the pike.
Right. It say, "But at the end it shall speak."
Right. So we at the end, and the prophecies are speaking.
Yes.
And how are they speaking? Because the prophecy was spoke by the prophets. Like I was going into, the apostles, the elders, onto all the men, and even the other groups out there, the other alphabet groups that may be going into prophecy,
Right.
But especially over here at Grestmillstone, we get into prophecy, And it's been said that, look, there's going to come a time where there's going to be plagues running rampant in the earth.
Right.
Now we seeing something pop off on a major scale.
Yep.
You can read on.
It say, "And not lie, though it tarry."
And how we know it's not gonna lie?
Right.
The vision that's for an appointed time, and it's gonna speak at the end. How do we know that prophecy that's being spoke is not a lie? Because it was written about that these things was gonna happen in the last days, and we seeing it happen. So prophecy is being fulfilled.
Yep.
We're watching prophecy unfold on a daily basis.
Right.
You got it, huh?
It say, "Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry."
Right, and we seeing all these things coming to pass. All the different prophecies. We see the mark of the beast. People are being chipped as we speak.
Right.
Possibly. But we know people are definitely, we in the time where people are being chipped, and the infrastructure for the chip is fully in place.
Right.
We're seeing plagues as this coronavirus taking place in the earth. We're seeing uproars of the people.
Yep.
We're seeing an economic meltdown.
Right.
All over the world. We're seeing companies going out of business left and right, filing bankruptcy.
The grinding season.
Exactly.
And what the brother is speaking about is the prophecies that will come to pass at the end of this age. And that's where we at.
So you got something else?
Oh, la.
Let's hit the Matthew 24 and we can close this out.
Con.
Start at verse. Let me see. All right, verse 3.
Okay. This is St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us what shall be, Salakia, tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world."
So the 12 disciples, which became apostles, were inquiring about first the second coming of our Lord Yahawashi. When are you coming back?
Right.
When are you gonna come and deliver the nation of Israel?
Right.
They're really the elect of the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they asked, and when should be the end? And when should be the end of the world?
Mm-hmm.
So you can read, unless you had something to add.
Lie. It say, verse 4, St. Matthew 24:4. And Yahawashi answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
And we've seen this. We've seen this have seen this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's been fulfilled.
Yep.
You got no name guys coming up talking about they the Lord.
Right.
You know. But you can keep reading.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled.
And war is taking place in the earth. We just seen the situation with America took out the Iranian general. What's his name?
Soleimani.
Right. You see? There's war over there and still in the Middle East. Shit popping off in Syria. And we're hearing rumors it's rumors of what the real big war is, the war Armageddon.
Right.
That's being rumored in the world.
Right.
Everybody, it's a big talk. You know, even in the mainstream media, especially now after this U.S. attack on the taking out the Iranian general.
Mm-hmm.
Iranian, however you pronounce it, general. So if we're hearing of rumors of war,
yep,
we're seeing that.
And even like what they changed the time on the doomsday clock. Why they do that? Because they see the things that are taking place, and it's bringing us closer to a day of doom, which is the day of the Lord, man. A day of darkness and great darkness, okay?
And not light.
Right. A day of gloominess, you know, as the scriptures say. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation.
We seeing that happening in the earth. Nation rising against nation.
And kingdom against kingdom.
We see kingdom against kingdom. You got trade wars going on.
Yep.
It's causing a lot of friction behind that.
Yep. Sanctions on certain countries. No, crippling other countries' economies through these different sanctions and tariffs, you know. And earthquake, Salakia, and there shall be famines.
Now, the big famine, one of the big famines that happened recently was a situation down there in South America. Can't think of the country.
Was it Chile?
Where they was eating. Dang, I should know this. Was it Chile?
Wait, what they was doing?
With the famine, well, the food shortage. The people was.
Venezuela.
Venezuela. God, I couldn't. It couldn't come. Yeah. So the situation down there in Venezuela, that was a famine.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And it's people around the world that are not eating, but this thing is going, all these things that we're reading that's going to come in the last days is going to escalate.
Right.
On a major scale where everybody's going to know in the world that we in the last, they going to think about the end of the world. This must be the end.
Right.
The Most High is going to let the world know, make the world know that we in the end.
Exactly. And
that it's a higher power bringing all this. This ain't just something happening out of the blue by coincidence or accident. Nah, it's a power that's orchestrating all of this.
Right.
But you can go ahead.
It say, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places.
There's a lot of earthquakes popping off. We had these big earthquakes just popped off. They got a site that tells you where all the earthquakes are happening, and the ones that didn't it took place.
Right. The USGS.
Okay.
That's the acronym. United. I think it's United States. I'm not sure, but it's the USGS. That's the acronym for it. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it shows a map of all the earthquakes daily, what they range on the Richter scale, you know. And these ain't all. Yeah, it's a lot of little small quakes, but earthquakes nonetheless, you know. And some of them are pretty major, you know, 6.0, 6.9s, you know, on the Richter scale. So they doing damage. We just had one in Chile. You know, maybe what, 2 weeks ago? So these prophecies are taking place, okay? Because we at the end.
Now I skipped over the word pestilences and spoke on the earthquakes because I want to go into this word pestilences in the blue letter. So we're gonna bring that word out, and I'll let the blue letter pronounce it.
Strong's G 3061. Loimas. Loimas.
So it says pestilence, a pestilent fellow, and that bacteria is a pestilent fellow.
Right.
That coronavirus.
Right.
Or that virus. Okay. I said bacteria.
You see it's chasing Moab.
Right. And everybody running from their ass.
Yes.
Nobody wants, it's not popular to be around them more.
No.
Nobody wants to be around you.
Right. Nobody don't want to go to Chinatown. Whether it be Chinatown, California, Chinatown, Houston. You don't want to be around Chinamen. Because like Elder Apostle Tahar, the C's are the new ends. Okay? Yep. And you can figure out what that means through extrapolation. Just the way it's contexted.
All right, it says pest, plague. Now, if you go into the Strong's definition, it says of uncertain affinity, a plague, literally the disease, or figuratively a pest. So this is a disease.
Right.
It's a plague.
Yes.
This coronavirus, you know. So we was waiting and we looking like we're supposed to, and we gonna watch and see where this thing goes. You know, if it's gonna keep growing and hoping that it grow and it persists.
Right.
And cause a lot of turmoil in the earth.
Right.
That just means we getting that much closer to the end.
Right.
You know. So you got something, bro?
Well,
Lord willing, yeah, this was a quick update and to push this energy out there that prophecy is being fulfilled. And this is one of many to come. Well, really, it's just a few prophecies left, but this is just really a small scale of what's to come down the pike. So, Lord willing, this was edifying and exhorting to our spirit. And once again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Grestmillstone, the men that taught us this truth through the Spirit, and peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.
Shalom.